Alright, hello folks. Today we're going to be talking about a potential use I have for this engine. So as you know, a few videos back I got this diesel engine and I've been thinking about all the different things I could do with it. And a lot of you have been commenting, a lot of comments on that video. I did not expect it to get so popular, but yeah, a lot of good comments, and I was pretty quickly addressed about the oil. And yes, I did put, let me prove it real quick. I put T4 Rotella 15W40 diesel motor oil in it. So that you can't get any better than that really in terms of the oil to use. So I cleaned it out with diesel fuel to get all the old oil and potential metal dust and shavings out, and replaced it all with this. Now I would still love to put this like on a mini bike or a go-kart or something, because that would be really awesome, but at the moment I have another idea that might be pretty cool too, and that is to make an air compressor, power an air compressor with this. So we do have an air compressor, but it's tiny and it doesn't even work very good at all. It takes like 20 minutes to build up 10 psi, and that's terrible. Something's wrong with it. But yeah, so I'm thinking of building from scratch air compressor, and I have several engines I'd like to use for that. So this is one of them. So obviously I'd use the diesel engine to power the engine that I would be using as the actual air compressor. So how would that work, you may ask? Well, I did some research, and you can do some stuff with the valves and the spark plug and take all the other stuff off to where you can use an engine as a compressor basically. So you just run a belt on the shaft or something and spin it, and as it spins it'll compress the air, and then you can put it into a regular airline and pressurize a tank with it. And so I think this might be a pretty good engine to do it with, because this is the engine I pulled out of a generator. In fact, it even still has the generator part underneath the flywheel, so it still works as a generator, I guess. And this does run. I just ran it yesterday, and the only issue is this shaft that this fan is connected to is really tiny, and it only sticks out a small distance. It does not stick out very far at all. And I can get this thing off, it just screws on. And then the other side, I could bolt it onto the flywheel side, although I'm having trouble getting that bolt off, and I'm not sure what that shaft looks like. But this engine is not meant to run something on this part of the output shaft, really. It's just for this cooling fan. So I have another engine choice, and that's this little guy. This is a small Honda clone engine that came off it was the old go-kart engine that used to be on the go-kart before I engine swapped it, and I've kept it around. It runs. I took the carburetors on that other engine I showed you, but this might work better because the output shaft is the correct size. It says, I believe, 19 millimeters, so this would work perfectly just fine for a pulley to go right on there, and you could still do the same stuff with the valves and the spark plug to get it to turn it into an air compressor, hopefully. So I'm kind of torn between using that one or this one, and for the compressor part. So it doesn't take too much to make an air compressor. All you need is an engine, which in this case would be the diesel engine, to power the compressor part, which I'd use another engine for that. You need an air tank. By the way, excuse the handwriting here, it's a little messy. And air hoses to connect everything up. And of course you need all the valves and everything. And you need pulleys and belts and a frame. So yeah, I'll need to buy quite a few things, but I think it would be a great use for this engine, because diesel engines are great at producing lots of torque. So these engines, it should be able to turn over an air compressor no problem, and it'll be at a pretty constant RPM, And yeah, it'd be a pretty good use for it, I think, if I could get this built. The frame is the biggest thing, and the tank maybe, because the frame, how would I get that? I would need to like weld an engine mounting plate for both the engines on there, and I don't have a welder and I don't have welding skills, so I don't know what I'd do there. I might have to get someone to help, but I can't do a video without starting something up. Let's start this thing, because it's pretty fun to start, albeit hard. Yeah, you could hear those poor caster wheels. Good fun. So yeah, let me know what you think about this idea and which engine you think would be best suited for this. Personally, I think they both have their pros and cons. This engine is bigger. This is, I believe, a 150, and it's an overhead cam, so that's pretty cool. And that almost makes me want to keep it as a running engine, because it's kind of rare to see an overhead cam in such a small engine. And then this one is just your standard Honda clone engine, but it has a shaft output that's very standard as well, and it'll be easy to get a thing mounted on there, a pulley of some sort, and run a belt to the other engine so we can actually spin this thing. So yeah, and obviously I'd be taking the air tank or the gas tank off and all the accessories we wouldn't need. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you have knowledge on these things, or if you have any experience building similar projects before, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And I will see you next time.